Welcome back to Pole Barn Garage, where I've got a problem. I own a lot of cars. We do a lot of cars for videos. They're everywhere. And the thing that most car YouTubers run into, you've got to have a new car almost every week to keep people's attention, to keep making money, to stay afloat. What that basically leads to is a bunch of half-finished projects, such as this Mustang, which we revived after sitting for 30 some odd years. It needs a few odds and ends that don't make a whole video, but they need to be done anyway. So what I'm going to do this time is work on everything I own that needs something. This Mustang needs motor mounts, a dash pad, and the windlace installed. The LTD needs a heater core and a radiator flush. The old black Dodge needs an alternator. The Cadillac needs a transmission pan and a few little things. The 64 Lemons needs a radiator. My Tahoe needs an air filter. I think the most important one of that bunch is probably the LTD, so why don't we start there? Let's get her pulled in the shop. If you don't remember this car, this is the 1978 Ford LTD that had 21,000 original miles on it. Now it has about 30,000 miles on it. However, the car still has its original antifreeze in it. And because I've never changed a hose, I've never had to do anything. I'm learning the hard way that antifreeze doesn't last forever. It turns into acid and kills heater cores. This will be the second heater core I've put in this car. I didn't show the first one. We have to do a complete flush of this thing, and not just a garden hose flush. We're going to have to put something in there to neutralize it. Step one here is going to be drain the coolant. I got to get this numbers matching antifreeze out of here. This is what I get for being a cheap ass. The good thing about the heater core in these cars is it's accessible out here. It's very nice of Ford to do this. There's an access panel here, and it just drops right in. You can tell I had to replace this chunk of hose, and it's not ideal. But thankfully, I think I got a fix for that. I bought a flush kit, so I think if we cut it right where it's kinked, then we can get it underneath that AC line there and put our flush kit in there, which we're going to need anyway. There we go. Still not perfect, but it'll work. And now we have a flush and fill port. Now the heater core is leaking. It's just weeping. It's not real bad, so it's good enough we can flush everything and then replace it. Otherwise I would loop the hoses together, but it'll be okay for right now. When the coolant's acidic and it eats the heater core, it'll put little pinholes in it. It's not even leaking into the car, it's just fogging the window. You can tell that there is moisture in the air from the heater core. There. This is probably a little overkill, but I think putting a little bit of flush in there, like this, then we'll fill it up with water, let it run, let it circulate, then we'll flush. I think that's going to do us some good. Now, I know this seems kind of, I don't know, basic, right? One thing I do take a little bit of pride in, when I get a car running and driving for the channel, I don't just go park it out in the tree row, you know? I don't know, they all run, they all drive. They either get used or they get sold. I really try to keep it that way, especially with a car like this that I don't intend on getting rid of. It should be full enough to start. Boy, those carburetors, they're just junk, aren't they? I mean, you can't hardly start them, drive them. No, just an antique, you know? So I'm going to let that get up to temperature. That way the thermostat opens and the coolant fully circulates. While we're letting this thing run, might be a good time to clean up the upper end. Somebody sent me some of this top engine cleaner. Basically seafoam, but it'll be good for it to do this. We drive this thing like grandma, so it's probably a lot of carbon. Now we can let that sit in there. It'll sit on top of the piston on the valve and kind of creep into everything. And you know, if there's any varnish or anything, it's going to free it up and it'll be good for you. You should do that every so often with these old cars. We are flushing. I've got the drain open on the bottom of the radiator and I've got the hose hooked up. We're going to fire it up and let it circulate. should be good to go now. I'm gonna let this cold water run through there a little bit to cool things off. Now let's change the heater core. Usually pulling a heater core is a lose-lose proposition. But you take out 4 bolts and there it is. I gotta take this AC line bracket off and this vacuum line. And then we can put a heater core in without doing anything in the car. That is smart. There's that. There's our heater core. He just floats around in here. There it is. A 1-year-old Chinese heater core. Wish I could tell you where it was leaking, but like I said, only reason I know it was leaking because the heat wasn't working very good. It kind of smelled like antifreeze, and it fogged the windows. I got this one here, OSC. Supposedly that's a better brand. It's definitely heavier and thicker, and it looks more like what originally was in the car. It's as simple as that. And what holds it in position is that top plate, so yeah, you just bolt it in. Getting her buttoned up, and we'll fill her up, run it, burp it, should be good. Really like this no spill funnel here. Definitely makes life easier. Oh, hey, I should probably close the petcock. I haven't done that one in a while. Gonna have the heat on full blast. Make sure we got no leaks. Cooling system is cleaned and new heater core. This thing should be good to go. I think I'm going to give it a wash and a wax though, because it's due for a wax this year. Might as well do it now while I got it in the shade. You can tell the paint is getting a little foggy. This is the original paint for the car, and I'd hate to see that happen. It does sit outside more than I'd like it to, and it's going to until we get that new building up, which should be going up in the next month maybe, but still need to wax it. I'm just going to rinse it, get anything loose off of the surface. I'm going to use this Chemical Guys stuff to polish and protect it, allegedly. I don't know, not a huge fan of the Chemical Guys product. They're like lighter duty things. They seem to work okay, but if you're trying to use their stuff to cut and buff paint, you're going to be there a while. You can overthink this sort of thing real quick, but really, just Karate Kid it. Wax on, wax off. This is going to pull any surface stains out and hopefully just give it some luster back. We're not trying to polish the car. Let it dry to a haze and then wax off. Should give it a little protection this summer. And it got some of that shine back. Wax on. And we will wax off later, but my microfibers are not doing a good job of picking up this wax off of the surface. So I'm just going to let the CMX ceramic wash and coat that I got on clearance, I'll let that do it for me. Yeah, we'll just let this stuff get that residue off of there for us, and it should work out okay. Looks like it's beating water pretty well. Yeah, it's better. It could still use a real polish, but we don't need to do it right now. This will just kind of preserve it for a while longer. About to have me a dad moment here. You know those chamois cloths that you can use to wipe water off of a car? Pretty sure JD ran off with mine. I don't know where it is. I guess I'll just try to minimize the water spots with microfibers. Have to buy me a new one. He can keep it, I guess. One last thing is we'll put some conditioner on the vinyl top. Try to keep it in good shape. And then I don't got to worry about this for a little while. This is my Chevy Tahoe cop car that I bought from the inevitable Jim, and we use it as a tow pig. The last time we drove it any distance, we actually drove it through a sandstorm, and I haven't put an air filter in yet. I'm pretty sure it's going to need one. Torque spits to change an air filter. God, I hate new cars. Well, I never looked at it. Definitely pretty gross. This one's green, so it's better. There we go. Look at me, certified Jiffy Lube mechanic. One more quick job I could do is I need to set the idle on this. This is the Chevy truck we put a Corvette motor in, and I've since put a new Edelbrock on it, but I gotta set the choke and get it to idle right. Edelbrock carbs always come with a choke set way too rich. So if you just lean that out, it kicks it off the fast idle cam a lot sooner. To adjust the choke, you just loosen these screws right here. As I rotate the housing up, you can see the choke open. So we're going to set it about here. And that way we still get a little bit of choke action. It should release pretty quickly. That's what I want right there. I want it to fast idle when it first starts, but then you blip it and it stays off of the fast idle. It seems to be doing the trick. That's fixed. Jess ought to be able to take that to her crochet group tonight. This is the 68 Mustang we did a few weeks ago, something like that. It broke a motor mount in that video and I still need to replace it. And I have a new dash pad for it and a few odds and ends. Now let's get this in next. This thing is still rocking the chain we installed when we raced Kevin at Junkyard Digs in his Cougar. It actually is working perfectly fine, honestly. It would probably work forever, but it looks dumb. So let's put a couple of motor mounts in it. Is there enough chain left for us to use to lift it up? There sure is. It's dual purpose. This may not be very wise, but I'm going to go for the twofer here and unbolt both motor mounts and try to replace them at the same time. I think I can get enough lift out of the engine to do that. I may be completely wrong. Those have never been out, and I can see on the motor mount it still says FOMOCO on it. They're originals. Damn it. I don't want to pull the hood. Let me shorten up my chain here and see if that helps. I can definitely get this one now. Yeah, it just ripped in half. There's two ways to do this. You can either throw a jack under the oil pan and lift the engine up, or you could do it this way. I think this way is a little easier, otherwise you got a jack in your way down there. I am able to get to them, barely. It's doable, except they are very, very in there. They don't want to come out. Alright, one out of 4 broke free. Not gonna lie to you, I'm very, very tempted to only replace the driver's side motor mount because that's the one that was broken, and that is the torque side of the engine. Yeah, that's suboptimal, but it did come with a free mud dauber nest. Here's our new one. Well, it generally resembles the old one, and that's pretty much all you can ask for these days. It's on there, I just gotta get it tight, which is easier said than done. Yeah, there's the old passenger side mount. There's really nothing wrong with it at all. Got a case of the while I'm here's. Might as well change it, I guess. Let's see if it falls right into place, right? Just that easy. Not quite that easy, but not bad. It just needs a little shimming. I can put this bolt in, and then when this bolt's in, it should just flop right into place. Just that simple. The mounts are in. I did end up having to pull the oil filter off to drive that one in. It didn't quite line up perfect, but no big deal. I need to tighten the alternator belt. It's been making a hell of a noise. And then I noticed we've got a little fuel leak up here. I'm not sure where that's coming from, so we better dive into that. Snug this alternator belt up. And by snug, I mean make it as tight as humanly possible. And then once I'm done with that, we can fire it up and inspect the fuel leak. That's pretty good. think almost tighter than that. Yeah, that's good. I think it's this Allen. Yeah, it is. You can see it right there on my thumbnail. That Allen's leaking. Very typical. I put a gauge in it, but I don't have one. So I'll back that back out. We'll just dope it up and put it back in. Oh. Well, being loose would certainly do it as well. Regardless, I'll put some gasola on there. It looks like I put a whole lot of nothing on it the first time. This gasoila, I don't know. Gasoila! This is fuel resistant thread tape. It'll work for this. Standard Teflon tape doesn't hold up to gasoline. Kind of a bitch to get to. No wonder I didn't tighten it. We're good. Moving on to the inside of the car. Got a few things we need to fix in here. My duct tape windlace to hold the edges of the headliner up, it worked good enough for that video. That's about it. I ordered some windlace we can install to secure the headliner properly and clean up these edges where it's floppy. And also, this car has the most warped dash pad I've ever seen. And straighten out some of this dash trim, maybe. Ooh, I don't know if I could fix that. I may have to order more parts, but we can kind of figure out what I need as we go. So this is windlace, and basically every old car uses it to cover pinch welds like this. All that raw edge is covered in windlace, and what it likes to do over time is shrink. It ends up like drooping in the corners because it shrinks. So it's really easy to install. Just pick a side to start on. Like if it's cold outside or something, you need to let it sit out in the sun a little bit and get a little flexible, but I think it's warm enough right now. It shouldn't be much problem. Very simple stuff like this that makes a car look 10,000 times better. Plus, you don't knock your head on that razor sharp metal. There's a metal sleeve in here, so that crushes and holds it in place. So just give her a little whack with your palm and make sure it's seated. Unfortunately, it looks like this headliner has shrunk. I'm going to be able to pinch a lot of it, but not all of it. I'm going to employ some black duct tape this time to fill in the gaps. And this is better duct tape, so hopefully it'll hold up. I do have a new headliner for this, and I'm not terribly afraid of putting one in a Mustang, except for you have to pull the front and rear glass to do it. And you know, that can happen. It needs it anyway. It needs seals. But I don't want to do it right now because we use the car. We drive it. And I can't have it blown apart. So I think I'll probably pop the glass out of it and tear the headliner out when we go to paint it. There's nothing wrong with finding a temporary fix that, you know, may or may not become completely permanent. Yeah, it's a lot better. The duct tape over here, it's a little wonky, but I mean, it blends. Fortunately, I don't think I bought enough. We'll see. I'm going to do this one, but we do need 2 more chunks to cover this pinch weld. I don't think I have enough to do all of it, but we'll find out. We'll find out. I may have to order some more. Got that side in, and I do have maybe enough to cover these pinch welds here, which is good, because the guy getting in the back seat here, you know, he's going to need sutures. Boom. Much better. I even had a little left over. I was able to do both sides. Let's see. I think I got to pull the cluster out. Looks like all the screws have pulled themselves out. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's just sitting in there. They are still in the pad, but the pad has warped so significantly that it has pulled them out. Oh yeah. Yeah, there we go. Pull the glove box out of my way just to make it easier. One of those, and it should just fall right out, right? This is easy. Oh. Yeah, kind of that easy. Is that the VIN plate? I think it was. Good thing it doesn't matter. That used to be a VIN plate. Good thing I got a title in my name. Let's hide that. Conveniently, this doesn't appear to have a cutout for it. I don't know what you're talking about, officer. just had to quickly vacuum the car out of the way. Now I gotta pull this lower window trim. Looks like it's missing that side, so we'll have to come up with that, but this is what actually retains the dash pad, or is supposed to retain it. I might have that trim laying around. I've owned a few of these cars. I'll be going on a hunt for sure. I do not have the lower windshield trim, but look what I did find. The centerpiece here, instead of this one that's warped. That's probably from my 67 a few years ago. We could put that trim in later, I believe. Just gotta stab this into place. It only bolts in 2 places, and there's a stud that goes in right there. Looks like the old one is still in position, so I'm gonna have to get my hands behind there somehow. Go get the heater control out of the way, and now I think I can get back to that with a wrench. This is one of those nice and slow and painful jobs. You go a quarter turn at a time, and you can barely see what you're doing. Oh good, now it's stuck. Terrific. Yeah, something like that. I did buy a cheap dash pad, although made in USA. It looks like it's kind of down on this side, but I mean it fits. And that part looks right, but then it kind of picks up here. Maybe once the screws are in it, it'll flatten out. Either way, it's way better than it was. The screws that were missing out of here, they were missing because the plastic's broken and you can't tighten them down. So I shoved a washer around that one just to hold it in place, but it looks dumb and I hate it. So I'll probably end up buying a new bezel, at least this, and then I get a new plastic insert so the gauges are clear again. All that stuff is super cheap for Mustangs. Market improvement. Yeah, now I know I need to get that piece of trim, a few odds and ends, and we can really dress this up. I'm going to put the steering wheel on straight because I put it on, as you can tell, about 90 degrees off. Now the wheels are sort of straight, and the steering wheel is sort of straight, so, yeah, it works out. I think we're done with the Mustang for now. Let's get something else in here. Today's video is brought to you by Delete Me. Do you ever have problems with like spam calls, spam texts? You know, your information gets out there and you don't really know how that happened, right? And, that has happened to me before. I think it's happened to everybody. And what happens is we've got all our information out there, right? Everything about you is on the internet. What they do is go out there and they remove your information from the bad actors out there that will do bad things with it, and then they give you a privacy report on it that you can get in as little as 7 days, detailing exactly what they did and how they took steps to protect you. And that is exactly what Delete Me did for me. They found thousands of listings on data broker sites with my information on them, and Delete Me helped remove that information. If you want to protect your information from data brokers, use my code and save 20% to do it. You might as well. I'm not a big computer guy. I'm not some internet whiz. I don't know how my information got out there, but it did. And the good thing is I got Delete Me having my back now. Thanks again to Delete Me for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to it. Use that code. Next up is the old 59 Dodge. This is my childhood farm truck. I learned how to drive stick in. And I bought it back last year when I saw it come up for sale. Since then, it's been pretty useful around here. We've done a little work on it on the second channel outside the barn. I think the last time we used it, the battery died, and I think the old generator has quit. So let's rig up an alternator onto it.
Brakes.
Well, our Our master cylinder fix must have failed.
Yeah, might have to fix that too.
Yep. Under the hood of this one is a good old 318 poly. Yeah, this one burns a lot of oil and leaks liquid oil out of the exhaust. No, I'm not concerned about it, nor will I be fixing it. It's done that since I was 5 years old, and it will continue to do so. This truck will never see the road again, but it's still very useful around here. It would be more useful if the brakes worked, though. So maybe we need to bleed them again or something?
I think so.
Yeah, it's got new wheel cylinders in the front and a new master cylinder that we put on it on the second channel, as well as the clutch master cylinder. The clutch was working fine. Over here we have the original generator, which is not charging. We learned that because the last time we were using it, we had it running for for quite a while. We were hauling brush with it. It was running pretty much all day, and eventually it did kill it to the point where it wouldn't crank. I think rigging a GM alternator onto here would probably be pretty straightforward.
Oh, wow.
It's full of mud daubers. You'll note that this engine is chained into place. She actually lines up pretty dang good. Yeah, we found this random bracket laying around. Seems like we could just bolt it straight across from the original generator bracket to the alternator. And we're going to have to do something on the back to brace it as well. But it doesn't necessarily have to go on the bottom. We could run another bar here to the head or something like that. We got options. We probably have to put a third brace on it, but this should work pretty simply.
Is it gonna work?
I don't know. It's your idea.
It is my idea.
Yeah, I think it'll work. Cool. Alright, I got that bolted solid. Now, here's the million-dollar question. Yeah, it adjusts.
Yeah, cool.
Just gotta make one pretty minor adjustment. The corner of our new bracket is rubbing on the fan of the alternator. I mean, it would probably work fine. I just think if we ran one bracket from here down to like that bolt or, you know, something like that,
wow.
we could also do this. We could run from here to here. Just boom, and that would support the back of
Let's
it.
do that.
What we could do is this random bracket I found. It'll just need a hole drilled in it. Okay, so we can put it like this, and then we just need to have a spacer between here and drill a hole in it precisely where it needs to be. Hell yeah, now we just gotta find a spacer and a longer bolt for the back of the alternator, which is probably metric because this was an aftermarket alternator. I had this one laying around, some random Torx head bolt, but it's metric, so that'll work. Now we just need a spacer. I'm thinking that's about lug nut sized. Put a lug nut between there. Damn, look at that.
That's good.
That thing is solid as hell.
Yeah.
And adjustable still. Alright, well let's jump it out and run a hot wire to the battery and she'll charge.
Okay.
All you need to do to make this work is jump out the exciter terminal, which I can't ever remember if it's number 1 or number 2, but you can swap it pretty easy. But I've got it jumped out there, straight to the back of it, and then we'll connect that to the battery, and now it will charge. One thing to note, with the exciter wire hooked to the battery, the alternator is excited all the time, which will hurt nothing, but it will slowly drain your battery, so we'll just have to make sure we unhook it every time we shut this off. If I really cared, I would hook it to a keyed 12-volt source, but I don't. We're looking for some number 10 or 12 wire to use as a charge wire, so we're going to hunt around all my parts cars looking for enough of it to do that, because I am out. This LTD has what we need. That'll make a killer charge wire right there. Just got to get them out of this loom. I'm just going to cut it back there. this thing's done for. We're gonna pull this motor out and put it in something special coming up eventually. There. See how that's not gooey?
Yeah.
This is friction tape. There's no adhesive. It just sticks to itself.
Oh.
You can buy it. It's kind of expensive, but it is way better than wrapping your harnesses in electrical tape. Yeah, we could even use the factory Ford terminal on the end of this. That is how you fix your truck for free with crap you have laying around. Provided you're a hoarder. You do it. That is you gotta be a hoarder to do it.
I'll read this when you started.
Should start it in gear?
No.
Let me change that terminal.
Well,
Will you unhook the battery?
yeah.
It's gonna be a little weird, but sometimes you gotta rev them up to excite them. And I think what's happening, I think this pulley, the crank pulley on this is so small, it's not spinning that alternator fast enough to charge.
Oh, yeah.
So it's only going to charge when you give it gas.
Oh.
Well, there ain't nothing we can do about that.
Nope. We can't change the crank pulley, so.
And you can't really put a smaller alternator pulley on it. Yeah, look how slow it's spinning. You can tell.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good enough. It's better than no charging.
Look at brakes.
So, looks like our front to rear brake line has deceased. Somewhere in here. There it is. I can't imagine why it's leaking. Anyway, I'm not fixing that. We don't need rear brakes where we're going. So I'm going to just pinch it off. It's actually a lot harder to pinch off a brake line than you might think. Wish me luck. Oh, I broke it. That's what I was afraid of. These lines are so rusty. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Try to get that pinched off in a few spots. See if that works. This is the downfall of the single pot master cylinder. You blow one brake line and suddenly you have nothing. That's pretty freaking flat. I think we're good. I think I got it.
Cool. You want to bleed them?
Yeah, we'll bleed the fronts and then it'll build up pressure and then it'll blow this line out again.
Alright, ready?
Yeah.
Holding.
Well, we bled the fronts. We have like a 0 brake pedal, as usual. Mm-hmm. So let me watch this. Go ahead and pump them. No.
No?
Not leaking. Pump them. There it goes. There it goes. I think when the master cylinder went dry, it got air in it.
So it needs
because I hit the brakes trying to stop. So it basically needs bench bled again. But doing this enough, it should build up something. Looks like pretty much pure liquid now. Any pedal?
Yeah.
Got some pedal? Some.
Not a lot, but I can feel it right
doing
there.
something. Yeah, it's got something in there. Here, let me try to bump it and see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stopping.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're awful, but
That's just like before.
it's been like that. When I was a kid, you could pump them about 20 times and you might get to stop. Usually you just ran into trees. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely, yep.
Okay, so that's leaking. Let's fix that, and I bet
we might have some okay ones.
it is unbelievably hard to pinch off a brake line. I'm telling you. Anyone who says, oh, just crimp the line, they've never done it. There's no way. Had to move up here. Try to get a better piece of it. The other part's too rusty to crimp. I'm using my cutters on my lineman pliers to try to get a really hard bite on it. Well, things have really escalated, like they always do with brakes. I kept trying to pinch it off all the way to the front, wouldn't do it. So I was trying to get it out of the junction block up here, and I got it out, and then I broke the line that goes to the master cylinder. And this is 5/16 line, which I don't have. I'll have to get some of that. This is turning into more than I wanted it to. But here we are. New morning, new solutions. This is a brass plug with a 45-degree inverted flare that I'm very surprised that O'Reilly sells, but they do. There's your part number there. That's for a 1/4-inch inverted flare plug. I'm going to put it right into that T down there, and then that's just going to plug the back brake lines forever. Frankly, that rubber line here, it was kind of sketch anyway, and I do think it was leaking. We could replace it with a hard line. So what we're going to have to do, if we're going to use a hard line instead of that rubber line, is put some bends in it so it acts like a spring. The reason they put all those coils in your brake lines is because on a body-on-frame car or truck, the master cylinder is mounted to the body, which moves a little bit independently from the frame. Or in this truck's case, it moves a lot independently from the frame. So having something with a little flex in there is critical. I got our plug on down there. I've got our line running up here, and it is obviously way too long, but we need to put some curls in it. The unfortunate part of that is that this is 5/16 brake line. Huge. I don't know if that's because this thing's a 1-ton or what, but huge brake line. So it's kind of tough to bend. We'll mangle something together. It's not like it's super important that it be pretty. There we go. Hideous, but technically functional. That's the look I'm going for here. Kind of like the rest of the truck, to be honest with you. Yeah, we're all buttoned up there. Let's fill it up. Let's I could try gravity bleeding. JD's in school. I'll get someone to come push the brake pedal. I don't like using this thing, but let's try it. There it is. Looked like they bled okay. Wow. Nothing. Ow. Absolutely zero. What? Is it spewing? Did we get air in that master cylinder again? Maybe. Crazy. This thing is just really a bitch to get brakes, apparently. Did it bubble? Did it do anything? I don't know what else is wrong. I don't see anything leaking. It's not spraying. It's not losing fluid. They should work. It's got new wheel cylinders in the front. Well, year old, I guess. I have no idea why it doesn't have brakes. So I brought in an expert. Where'd the dog go? Well, I guess you'll have to do.
Here I am.
Why are you here?
To pump brakes?
Oh, yeah.
I'm like your fairy godmother, the brake brother. The fairy brake brother.
Just in time, Mortsky just appears when you need him. So what you're going to want to do, go in your bathroom, shut the lights off, and say Mortsky 7 times into the mirror. And then when you turn the lights on, there he is. Every time. Yeah, I really don't know. I think pressure bleeding might do it. I don't even care if they work good. I just need them to stop the truck. And
that's what good is. Good brakes stop.
I don't need them.
What if it just slows it down?
That'd be fine.
Okay,
that'd be fine.
We can go for that.
Yeah.
If it stops the truck, they're good. But if it slows it down, then they're acceptable. Where's the leak at?
Well, it's definitely leaking on those pipe threads coming out of that.
What's this green thing?
I don't know. Never figured that one out. Speedo cable?
I don't know. What
no, it's not a speed. It's going to something down on the trans. Oh,
park brake?
Park brake. It's got the drum on the back of the trans.
Does that work?
Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
I'm sure O'Reilly's has a new one of those. It's an O'Reilly's green already. Oh, they feel great.
They don't feel like anything.
You're right.
Are you a down-up kind of guy or a...
Wait, what are we talking about here?
Whatever you want to talk about.
Oh, brakes, got it. Yeah, I got them down.
You got them down.
They are down.
Hey, stuff.
Are you a down-up type of guy?
There's 2 ways to bleed brakes. You can open and go down.
Oh.
And close.
Who does that?
Fancy people like me. No pressure at all. That's what I like to see. Okay. Yeah, maybe pump them a few times, build something up.
I definitely did pump them a few times.
Oh, you did? I couldn't tell. Try to re-bench bleed. I've got my finger in the hole, sir.
Down.
Wow, it's doing almost nothing. But I can feel it doing something.
Up.
Bubbles.
Down.
Fluid.
Up. Down. Up.
It's got bubbles.
You ever feel like you're being watched? Anything out there?
I can...
Oh,
there it is. There it is.
That's the money shot right there.
Hey, it did the thing. It wasn't doing that until just then. So maybe we did something.
Up. Down.
Ooh, yeah.
Could you please not put it that way? Up. Down.
There it is. Ooh, yeah. That's good. That's good. Keep doing it just like that.
I'm gonna have to leave.
Oh, yeah. She's got a steady drip now. I think she was airlocked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sure.
That was fun. Man, I got liquid fluid all over my lens here. Ooh. We have few options here, but we did realize that the pipe fitting on that was leaking. So I taped it up, gooped it up. It's not leaking anywhere else, but it's also not building any pressure to leak. Oh, we got her now. We got her now. I don't see any air in it. It's probably fine. Oh, they're working.
Can you hear them?
Yeah. Here, I'll pop this one open and get the pressure back.
It's down.
Tons of pressure. That's good.
It's actually pretty legit.
Yeah?
I mean, I would probably drive this
To town?
to the big city.
No, you get murdered in the big city. Dude, those are brakes. It has real brakes. It's never had those.
I am the smartest man alive.
It was Mortsky who did it. Also, the starter died while you were here.
Guess what?
I fixed
it.
Well, that's what I got to move with the truck, but it is raining now.
Look at the water just beating up on that new ceramic coating on the LTD.
It is ceramic coating. Well, Pontiac, Performer RPM. Damn, dude, what do I owe you for that?
We can't show that on camera.
Okay. I noticed it's chrome. That's cool.
You don't even have to paint it.
No, it's already chromed. All right, we got to move that Torino somewhere else. It's in the way of everything. This will do it, probably. Maybe. You want to be cameraman, Mortsky?
Absolutely.
All right, keep going.
You were awful excited about those brakes a minute ago.
Man, they worked for a minute. What is wrong with this stupid truck? God damn. Oh, reliable, as I like to call her.
Lock the hubs in.
Yeah, I just gotta go backwards. Hey, mind if I hit your truck? It's great. This'll work for sure. I welded that.
Where are you gonna hook it? Right on the deck lid?
I don't know.
The trunk latch?
I was thinking about the trunk latch. I mean, it's pretty tempting, you know? Bumper. Is the bumper trashed? Not really. No, I don't want to trash that.
It will be by the time you're done.
No! I've been a tow truck driver about 7 minutes now. So, you know, it's all part of the game. It's what you do. If I really wanted to get brave, I could probably go to the leaf springs. I don't want to hear something about your OSHA stuff. Narc. Alright.
You Yankees and your safety.
You Yankees and your living. Don't be silly.
Push your culture on me.
I'm not interested. This is what you do in the industry. We call this towing.
Oh, you're gonna extend it out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All the bravery.
There it is. Look, I know what I'm doing, okay? A starving child could have eaten that license plate. Look at that!
It's working!
Look at that! It's not even squatting my truck.
Who needs a tow truck when you could have a cherry Dodge picker?
Dude, I am like the smartest person on earth.
And he walks underneath it! That's bravery right there.
Oh, still on over here. I'm picking up a little, I'm favoring this side slightly.
Is there a reason behind that? There's definitely.
Science. Hey, would you crawl under there and get something for me?
Yeah, let me check out those floor pans real quick.
I'm gonna haul it somewhere that's not here. I'm gonna like go that way with it. Pretty low. This is incredible. I mean, really, look at that. There you go. Don't let its terrifying speed alarm you.
This thing is plush.
Whoa! Easy there. Easy.
You ever been slapped in the back of your head by a Ford Torino?
This thing's a hoss, man. I love it.
It does run way better than it should.
It runs really good, considering I haven't touched it.
Oh, this is where you keep the quality stuff.
Yes.
Is that a T-top Mustang too?
Sure is. You want it?
What? No, I think I'm good.
This worked way better than I thought it was going to.
You know, could you spin it around so it's at least facing the same direction as the rest of the lineup? Hold on. I put the chrome to the inside on that rim. Sorry. Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Way better. Maybe we should set them horizontally underneath the leaf springs. Yeah. I know you're a official tow truck driver.
Look, don't tell me how to do my job. Well, that's good enough for the Dodge until its services are required again, which is fairly often. But at least it's got some sort of brakes now and a charging system. On to the next victim. I actually need to fix the shifter in my Torino. So let's get that pulled in. So here's the issue with this. It's working right now. Oh, there you go. See that? It just went into reverse. So I think we just got to fix this shifter up. We got to have that right. Here I was thinking I'd have to do it, but lucky me.
Good luck finding the hardware.
Okay. Excellent. Not supposed to be like that, I don't think. Is this where we think the slop is? No.
It's better now.
It's still...
Still what?
Yeah, okay.
That's fixed. Fixed is fixed.
Well, where's the slop?
On the other end of that camera.
I know that, but... You're telling me the whole time that nut wasn't tight?
And fixed.
Mortsky, lord of all things repair. Things have escalated. It's not as simple as just tightening a nut, unfortunately. Mortsky thinks that the shift arm on the transmission that I just had rebuilt is not splined correctly, Which, yeah, I mean, it's totally possible. Unfortunately, it's a Ford, so you have to disassemble the valve body in order to change that. Pull the whole kit and caboodle in, eh?
So the theory is we're going to shorten this up and then not ever do that again.
If we took half an inch out of it, it probably would do it. If I had to guess. We're shortening the shift rod from shifter to transmission. Sleeve it back together like so. We took 1 inch out of the straight part of this, so everything should be kosher still.
We also marked it so we know it's straight.
Yeah, we marked the orientation, and I've lined the orientation up with the crack in this bushing. I just got to tack this together professionally. Good enough to test. Look at that. IR welder is good. Anyway, shortening that throw, it works. We're going to throw it back in here, and we should have park and first gear. As you can see, A, my transmission is blue. I didn't know that. And B, now, see that shift arm there? I tend to agree with Mortsky here that it is off a spline, because it's got a gap at it in the park position. However, by shortening that rod, we now have all our gears, everything's happy, and we don't got to touch the transmission. That's nice. I like it. It's not in reverse. That's good. That's good. Hell yeah. Thanks for the help.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks.
Glad you stopped in so you could do all this work.
I even got dirty.
Yeah.
We'll do it again sometime.
Oh, for sure. Anyway, with Mortsky out of our way, we can finally get back to work. I have long hated the open element air cleaner I had on this. So we dug around. And I think that's actually the correct filter housing for it, but it's ugly. So we're going to use this one that doesn't have all that crap on it and clean up and paint it. And this Rust-Oleum Satin Midnight Blue, this is like a dead ringer for dark Ford blue. It looks exactly like it. Much cheaper, too. This is going to look nice. It's going to look really good on there. Look how beautiful it turns out.
Looks just like Ford blue.
It is. It is. It's crazy. I mean, it's not high heat, but it's just the air cleaner, you know, it doesn't matter. We got a few things we have to find. We could find the little hose that clips onto there and there. That would look good. Oh, man.
A what?
Dang it. I got the police interceptor air filter because it's the only one they had in stock.
Yep. Bigger.
Is this different? Yes. Better order a filter.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, it isn't quite the same blue, but close enough. We even got our PCV hooked up. I like that. It's way better. Looks stock.
Yeah, better than the open air.
Yes. I think, you know, you open that up, you go, it looks like it's supposed to be there, more or less. That's what I want.
And it's not.
On to the next one. This is the Cadillac, the 1964 Buick Skylark with a 472 Cadillac shoehorned into it. Basically, the whole car is built out of whatever I had laying around. Well, it's kind of a pile. It needs a radiator, it needs a transmission pan. There's a rust hole in it, so we're gonna have to put transmission fluid in it just to drive it into the shop to drop the pan. Also, I got headlight bezels and tail lights for it, so we can make it legal-ish. Ugh, look at that.
Wow.
God, it looks good every time I look at it. It's supposed to rain its ass off again. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in a rush to get this in the shop, but if we don't get it in now, we probably aren't going to. It doesn't run out too quickly.
If you keep it running, it doesn't run out.
Yeah, as
But
long
if you
as
shut
it's
it off.
running. You want to try to fire it up?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Great.
cool as hell,
Yeah.
man. I love it. I'm gonna fix this real quick. And this car is still missing a headlight harness. I just remembered that. I don't think I have one of those. I did buy headlight bezels, so we need to install these. And taillights. I got these headlight bezels on eBay with the taillights, like 50 bucks a pair. So 50 bucks for these, 50 bucks for the taillights. The headlight bezels are just rough as hell, but they're plenty good enough for this. I'm gonna get these attached, and then the front end will look a little more complete. I'm still debating whether or not I want to put a bumper on the front. I do have one for it. So we may put a bumper on it. I don't know. Let me think about it. I kind of like the look of it right now. That's a lot better. I get bored later, I might take some steel wool to them and clean them up, but for now, I don't really care. Let's put the taillight lenses in. Let's go ahead and finish that up. Looks like they got all the hardware and the mounts and everything. That side will more or less go in. It's kind of missing some stuff, but it'll be okay. This side, I think I'm going to have to do a little work to. This thing's been whacked maybe 7 or 8 times. It's not, nothing really fits, but that's okay, considering we really just made this thing as like a drag car, kinda. You know, just something fun to play with. Time for the quote-unquote body work portion of the program. It's about as good as that's gonna get. I'm gonna put the tail light in it. And that's going to maybe tell me where the quarter should be. And then we're going to have to attach this quarter because it's just flopping loose. There, it looks right-ish. The taillights are now structural, of course. It is holding most of that quarter on. So we just got to figure out how to get this on. And I'm thinking a couple well-placed self-tappers will do the trick. They tried to weld it. It's just not going to work, you know. But you know what'll never fail? A self-tapper. Oh, solid as a rock. Now that the car is completely cosmetically restored, let's work on some of the mechanical issues. Let's start with the crappy job first. Time to get filthy and change the transmission pan. Alright, see where that drip is? It's got a damn hole in it. Not gonna lie to you, this is one of those jobs that I just hate. I mean, every time you do it, you're gonna make a mess, and it's gonna suck. Watch carefully as I recreate the Exxon Valdez. These transmissions don't have a drain. What you want to do is get down to your last bolt on the back, and then slowly release it, and then you can kind of tilt that transmission to where it'll drain. Oh, you'll note how my transmission mount seems to have loosened itself. That's normal. There she goes. There she goes. She's gonna blow. Yes. Oh yeah, there ain't much in there. Now we get to play the hit game. How f***ed up is it? Let's see. It's not bad. I mean, granted, it's flushed itself about 20 times, but that's actually very clean. Looks like new. Let's throw a filter in it just for kicks, but God, I feel pretty good about that transmission. I was not expecting to see that lack of clutch material. I mean, there's just a bit. Not much. That's one of the best I've ever seen. Oh, there's the mess. Filter is super clean. Holy cow. Filtran. It's been serviced, or it's a newer filter. That's a good sign. For a pan, I just got one of them crappy Mr. Gasket chrome ones. It was actually cheaper to buy this from O'Reilly than to buy a regular reproduction pan. These come with a cork gasket, which I prefer over the rubber gasket. I think they seal better. They're always going to leak a little, but they're never going to leak a lot, and that's about all you can ask for. I like to glue them to the pan, but not to the trans. Just a little skin of RTV will help seal it as well. Install this. The shiniest thing on the whole damn car, and it's underneath it. Glug, 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 glug. Yeah, one more thing to do under the car. Oh God, that transmission pan is leaking. Oh crap. The drain plug wasn't tight. Oh crap. Should have had that one on my bingo card, but I didn't. Anyway, now that I've created Lake ATF under the car, I have more work to do under there. Now, when we first put this thing together, I reused as much of the Cadillac stuff as I could, and I want to say I'm at like $2,500 total in the whole car. I am going to cheat a little. That Cadillac starter cranks real slow, so I am going to put a PowerMaster mini starter on. These are sort of relatively affordable considering they're American made and they'll actually last, but you know, it's about $200 for this. On a Cadillac. On a small block Chevy, they're like $120. This is the same starter as a Buick, by the way. It's going to take up way less room for whenever we eventually need to put some exhaust on it. And it's going to weigh a lot less, which is good. And it should crank the thing over quite a bit faster. Not that it has any problems, but you know, it's little preventative maintenance here. Step one is get this big old hog off of here. If I remember right, I had to put like 1/4 inch of shims in it to make it work at all. So we might actually have to measure the ring gear fitment with the PowerMaster. See if I can drop this on my head. Oh yeah, there goes all the shims. Oh, it was only 3. Not too bad. Yeah, come on out of the big hog. So I took a guess at it and I stuck 2 shims in here. Here's how you actually measure your starter tolerance on a GM. Get a paper clip and stick it between the ring gear and the starter gear. Even with 2 shims, it's still a little bit too tight for my paper clip, so we're going to put 1 more in there and see if that does it. Put another shim in there. Now we're going to touch 12 volts to the crank trigger. That's going to kick out the gear. There it is. We're going to put a screwdriver behind there so that it doesn't run away on us. Now we're going to stick our paper clip in between, check gear mesh again. It's still too tight for a paper clip, but it doesn't look that bad to my eyeball. I kind of want to try to crank it and see what it sounds like. Sounds fine. I thought it sounded okay. Onto a radiator. We got to figure out something better than that, and I don't think this dinky little Chinese one I bought, that's not going to work. I don't know what the hell that's for, but I don't know why I would have ordered that. I almost wonder if I got sent the wrong one. If I recall, there wasn't really anything wrong with this, but it did leak. If I recall, I put K-Seal in it, and that worked. I don't trust it. Therein lies the problem. It's a trust issue at this point. Now this radiator, even though it's a cross-flow radiator, looks like it would fit in there. I don't know what the hell this is from, but I had it around back. Surely I wouldn't have kept it if it wasn't any good, right? Like we hose this baby out and install it. We're gonna have to run our upper hose a little different, but the lower hose is in the right spot. Let's get it drained and get it out. If I recall, it's not actually attached. No, it'll just slide right out. Like it's made for it.
That's not that bad.
No, that's a lot more radiator. Got the DIY radiator hose kit out of my pile here. Like that. I like that. Then we can use this pipe that we found. Pipe adapter. We're going to use the flexi hose we had on it because it does fit a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is put a little spot weld on the edge of each of these just to kind of help retain the hose, maybe. Ow! That should work.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah, that'll work.
We're gonna need an overflow bottle to go racing eventually. Probably duct tape drags this year. This is the overflow from that Cadillac. Looks like it fits in there decent enough.
Done.
I know you're not supposed to have antifreeze in something you're going to race, but I don't want it to rust up, so I'm going to put at least a little antifreeze in it. Let's fire it up, burp it, check transmission fluid, make sure that's all full, and this thing should be good enough to drive around. Nope.
Probably good.
Played with the timing a little, and I gave it more, and it seemed to like it. I believe I actually set this with a timing light, and maybe I shouldn't have trusted that. Let's take it down the road before it gets dark. second gear.
Yeah.
Man, nice and cool.
Yeah.
I only have drive. I don't even have second. I just, all I can get. I need to fix that. Here's a roll. I just barely rest my foot now. That's like 50 foot of black mark from a hole. I'm gonna stall it. That's not bad, dude. I think this is a high 13 car.
I think so. That was really good.
I got second that time. Got to play with the shifter. I want to see if it'll restart.
Wow.
I think I could give it more timing.
Four?
Maybe. I mean, we need to know what it's actually doing. That's a little concerning.
Oh, yeah.
It's like we're aerating our oil.
Before we were at 40, now we're at 20.
Yeah, it's hot. 20's fine. It's the bouncing part
Yeah.
I don't like. This might be a contender for duct tape drags. Like, in the naturally aspirated class, I mean, a 13-second car could win that class. We might stand a shot with this thing. Cadillac is out. Now we need to work on this 1964 Pontiac Lemons. We completely restored this car on the channel in about 3 months. Go check out those videos if you haven't. And it does just need a few things, and I have done a few things off camera that I will show you in a minute. Since you've last seen it, I have cut and buffed the car. That doesn't make for great content, and frankly, I'm not very good at it, so I didn't film it. But it is quite a bit better. I got a lot of the dirt out of it that was in the paint when we painted it. And, you know, I've installed a tri-power setup. I had that setup built out of the parts bin from my buddies at CustomRebuiltCarbs.com. Give these guys a call if you need anything. I installed the notoriously finicky tri-power setup, and the only adjustment I had to make was half a turn of the idle speed. These guys are good. Small spoiler alert, but I did just get my Quadrajet back for the 2+2 Pontiac, and the same guys did that. They charge $475 for a Quadrajet restoration. If you have a numbers matching carb you're trying to preserve, you want to bolt it on and it will run out of the box, these guys can do it for you. Back to what we're doing. This car needed a radiator. It has mysteriously quit leaking somehow, but look how dinky that thing is. Like, I think it needs a little more cooling capacity than that. So I have a cold case radiator for it that I've been holding on to. And this thing has a pretty bad exhaust leak. You can actually see that there's a chunk of the gasket missing there. We should fix that while we're here. Let's get the old radiator out of here. I know this is basically what we just did. And I'll be honest with you, I was driving this thing all over yesterday when I took it out, washed it. And it never got hot at all. It ran a 180 the whole time. Son of a gun doesn't have a petcock on it. Blow this lower radiator hose off. When you just pull the lower hose off, it becomes a rapid coolant drain. Yeah, I got most of it. Held in slightly better than the Buicks, but not much better. It's missing quite a bit of it. That's okay. You don't need that part. Well, here's our new radiator. It's a cold case I've had laying around for months, waiting to go in this. I just ran the garden hose through it real quick, just in case there was any mud daubers living in it. There's no way that's going to fit in this car. What is this for? I got to change the mounts on the core support. Those are itty-bitty little guys. Look how tiny that is. Yeah, I don't think I have the correct mounts for this, so we'll just have to engineer something. still really tall. I have a cold case in the Sky Goat as well, and I'm kind of wondering if I didn't get it mixed up. Yeah, that's taller than the damn fender. There's no way. Just as I suspected, I'm an idiot. Behold, Exhibit A, Sky Goat. Pontiac-powered 67 Buick Skylark. This has the radiator for that car in it. Hopefully we can make that radiator fit this car. So let's get this radiator out. We'll flush it again, and then install it in here. Then we'll try to play musical radiators. Just in case any of you actually remember the cooling problems that car had with the trash in the cooling system, I've since flushed it 2 more times, and I've driven it quite a bit, and I haven't had a single issue out of it. I think it's clean enough that we can use the radiator without worry. I will try to reassemble Sky Goat, but frankly, it needs to give its motor and transmission back to the Roasted Goat, and its whole accessory drive is for the Holy Goat. It kind of needs to be redone anyway. It's okay if that one sits for a little bit. I think I can even use those lower mounts. There, that fits good. That makes more sense. There we go, it's in there, it's very tight, and even got all the bushings in it. I'm going to fill this up, but I'm not going to burp it just yet because I need to do the header gasket and not put it off again. Naturally, this doesn't fit this car either. I feel like I've been here before. What the hell is that for? Who knows? I guess I could put the one out of this car in since it did seem to be working. It'd be good enough for now. I don't know, I've just got it like sitting in here. It'll just keep it from puking while I go park it. Like I said, motor and trans has got to come back out of this thing. This is getting sidelined for a while, unfortunately. I don't know what possessed somebody to put headers on this car, but I wish they hadn't. Ugh. Oh, those bolts are tight. Please don't turn into a can of worms. Really hoping that I could do this with the engine in the car. Not gonna happen. So I'm gonna take this motor mount loose and then try to lift this side of the engine. It's either that or I pull the steering column. I think lifting the engine's probably easier than that. Yep, that's pretty smoked. I've got some aluminum ones to put in there, so hopefully at least we won't have to do this again. Aluminum or copper header gaskets are about the only way to get the damn things to seal. Well, let me just slip these in. Just that easy. I'll be here the rest of the night. I brought in smaller hands. Got one bolt in there that just cannot get. God, they're stupid. I hate headers. I hate them so much. We got one down, and guilt got the better of me. I suppose if we're going to do one, we probably ought to do this side too while we're here. So we got one bolt that I don't want to remove, and it's this one right here. Yeah, slide the header forward on this center bolt, and then you can kind of get to it, but putting that bolt in is a bitch. So what we're going to do is not remove it. Then we'll just notch our new exhaust manifold, gasket, header gasket, what have you, for it. So you can tell, yeah, right there, it was blown clear out across the top. Collectors are back on. I guess let's see if we made it any better or worse. Still leaking somewhere. It's not nearly as bad as it was. Oh. That bolt. Yeah. Oh, and here. My EGR port is leaking. I got the wrong intake gasket on it. Damn it. I'm gonna have to get a different intake gasket to fix that EGR leak. No, I got the right one on there. It's just leaking. We'll have to fix that, And there's one bolt on that header you can't get to. We're not going to be able to fix it. You'll note that that's not the same gasket as the other side. There's a reason for that. Well, that's incredibly disappointing. But, you know what? I kind of figured that was the way it was going to be. There's nothing I can do about it right now. And frankly, I'm kind of tired of working on cars after this video. I'm going to take a day or two to edit and then jump right back into it. I think you'll see me put ram air manifolds and all that exhaust stuff on. I'm not going to take it to my exhaust guy. I'm going to do it myself. I just ordered them for my buddy Paul at Ram Air Restorations. I'll film it when I do it, and you'll probably see that in the next I work on everything kind of video like this. I think we got a lot done. I feel good that everything's kind of maintenanced. Things are drivable again. I mean, even this sounds like shit, but at least it's, you know, drivable. It's clean, and it's out getting used again instead of shoved off in the tree row and forgotten. That is all I have time for this week. We'll probably do this again. I've left out a few other cars that need some work, so I like doing this. I really do. I had a lot of fun working on something different every day. We'll see you guys next time on Pole Barn Garage. Please go to polebarnmerch.com. We're about out of hoodie season. You can still get you one. Hats, whatever, koozies, stickers, you name it. We got it there. We got some new t-shirt designs up there. Make sure you check them out, including the Lord's Fastener t-shirt. You're going to need that when you shoot self-tappers. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks again to Delete Me for sponsoring today's video. Make sure to use my code to save 20% off.